Assalamu alaikum. How's it going, everyone? This is Ashraf Khalifa, live and exclusive from London, here celebrating Global Entrepreneurship Week. We're on our third day. So the first day, so before we started, we had 5 Sudanpreneur Kandakas. And then on the first day, we dropped another 5 more Sudanpreneur Kandakas. And we had an interview with expat kids talking about her business. And today, yesterday we had a break, so we didn't have any interviews, but we dropped a lot of information, and we started our campaign to get people talking about Sudanese entrepreneurship and what it means to them. So make sure you send your videos to me on my WhatsApp, or you can send them to me here on Sudanpreneur on the Instagram page. Let me just put the topic. All right, we're just waiting for Mask.IT.IT, aka Nusayba, to come and join us. I hope you guys have enjoyed the last couple of days and thought about entrepreneurship more, thought about business more. If you guys have any questions that you want to bring to ask Nusayba when she joins us, make sure you drop them in the comments. If you have any questions for me as well, I'm more than happy to answer them as well, inshallah. I have a little bit of a cold because obviously, the temperature difference in Sudan and here in the UK is like completely different. So yeah, just bear with me. But I'm glad to say that I do not have coronavirus, which is good. Because a lot of people thought I did. I took my test and I've got a certificate to prove it as well. Right, so I'm just adding Saber. Thank you very much. Allah said no. Hopefully she's going to be joining us soon, inshallah. All right, perfect.
Hello,
Assalamu alaikum.
walaikum assalam, Ashraf. How are you?
I'm very well. Not too bad. Yourself?
Hope you're doing fine.
Alhamdulillah, can't complain.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's getting cold a little bit these days, so
Well, I'm in England, so it's completely freezing.
it's fine with you. Yeah.
I've been expecting this cold,
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to coming back to Sudan where it's warm, inshallah.
Yeah. I think it's very warm these days. Even it's in the end of November, but it won't be cold as UK for sure.
Oh yeah, Sudan, and the UK and Europe is completely cold. When you try to describe the cold to people in Sudan, they just don't get it, but it's fine.
Yeah, for sure.
So how are you? Hope everything is
I'm
good.
fine. I'm doing fine. Alhamdulillah. Everything is good. I'm not in Sudan this day. I'm actually in KSA, so I'm a little bit far from the warming weather. So I'm very cold right now.
Okay. So I thought I'd do something different this time. So when I was in Sudan, you met up with me. We actually met up in real life, which is why I'm comfortable and happy to do this. And it was actually like Isla's idea.
Thank you so much.
Instead of me just interviewing you, I think we should interview each other. So I ask you a question, and then you can ask me a question, and then I can ask you a question. So then I think that way.
I like the idea. Yeah, I like the idea. I think that's very cool. Okay. So, any question regarding anything in the business or?
Wallahi, yeah, because I've met you and I know you're a safe person. I don't mind asking anything about anything.
Yeah, okay, good. Well, okay, let's start.
Wait, before we start, I just want to give a massive shout out to you and to your page. And I want to give people a comment. And I'm sure I said this to you when we met. So basically, Anna, I remember I posted a picture of a picture of me and my family. We were wearing these really crappy, factory masks that everyone has. And then I noticed you left a comment. You said, if you were nearby, I would have given you a mask from my company. And then you messaged me, and then we started talking. And then when I got to Sudan, we actually met up in real life, and you actually gave me a mask. And the funniest thing, I thought you were I thought I was talking to a guy the whole time. But
really? You're not the first one to say this to me. A lot of people think like I'm a guy, or yeah, they didn't think that I'm a girl who's doing like this business, the whole business, running the business. So it's a little
I
weird,
think it's
actually.
maybe I'm a bit biased because but also the way that you've been interacting. Like, and I want to give you a shout out because like in
Oh, thank
my
you so much.
nearly 10 years of doing this stuff, like I've never really seen like amazing customer service from any
Thank
company.
you. Thank you.
I
That's
think
very nice of you.
it's safely say in terms of Sudanese business that I think you have in terms of social media the
Thank
best,
you.
number one, the best customer service.
Oh, thank you so much. That's mean a lot, Wallahi, Ashraf. Thank you so much, Wallahi.
You're very well. So I just wanted to get that out of the way and give you that
Okay.
compliment. But I wanted to start us off. So if you want to
Mm.
tell people like about yourself, because not a lot of people know the person behind the business and what the business.
Okay.
Tell
All
us anything
right.
you want to introduce yourself.
Okay, so my name is Nusayba Muhammad, and I'm actually far away from the business field or entrepreneurship. I studied medical laboratory sciences, and I do have like interest and passion regarding to make like businesses. And since I was a little girl, I was like trying to help my parents how to uh, think a different way and try to make business out of yani small thing from the house. But I didn't seek that way. I liked more to go in the medical field. But I think right now that passion yani came back again. So I think this is just an encouragement for the people who are very far from the business field, that you can seek wherever you want and wherever you have passion in. So it doesn't mean like you proceed in one way that you have to continue the whole life. You can continue it for the whole life, but also you can include what you like most. So you have to differentiate between what you are very good at and what you really like. And you can sometimes you can combine both of them together. So that's basically me. Yeah. And I started business actually because I was like, I'm a kind of a workaholic person. So during the coronavirus pandemic, I was staying at home because before that I was working in a school. And because the school closed before the end of the year, so I was like staying in home without doing anything. So actually the idea of the business, I'm not going to say it's original because a lot of people were making fabric masks outside Sudan. But the idea just came because one night, me and my cousin were sitting in the living room and we were chatting about how much do we hate wearing medical mask every single day when we go out from our house. So we start to search online about to find a fabric mask, and we found a lot of people actually at that time. I think it was in the middle of June or middle of May, sorry. And a lot of them and we have fabric masks in Sudan, but the problem is we weren't sure that these masks are protective. So I was like, every time I ask those people if it's really protective, and they said, we don't know, we just make a fabric mask from maybe one layer or two layers. So I started to make some research in the internet, and I started to follow the WHO and the CDC because of my medical background for sure. So I started to search, and I found that every one of them, every one of the people who start to make the fabric mask, they're just following the first rule in the WHO, that you have to make a fabric mask made of 3 layers. But they don't continue to read the whole article. When you go down, you find that, for example, you can't make a fabric mask from 3 layers that is made from, for example, a dental fabric. It's very light for that. So you have to make it to make sure that it is protective. There's specific tests you have to go through in order to make sure that the mask is protective. So that what actually made us unique, because we try to make something elegant and at the same time protective. So the WHO state that if you want to make a fabric mask that is protective, the most important thing that you have to make a test by putting a candle behind the mask and try to blow through it. So if the candle is blowed off, then it's not effective. So that actually, this is the idea that came from to start Mask.
Dude, I love it. And also, I just wanted to say at this point, so the whole time I've been in Sudan, I've been
Mm.
using most amazing mask, and I totally got it from Maseba, from Mask.IT. So
Thank you.
I want to say I am sort of you know when you have like a vested interest in promoting a product. So
Yeah.
spoiler alert, I totally do. But I do have to say, and honestly, it's like the best thing I ever got, and it, yeah, I mean, so comfortable,
Thank you.
so light, and you
And
can
actually,
hold
you
it.
got the second edition. I think I give you
Oh
the
yeah.
FI design, the one without
No, you told me you're gonna make the new
band.
model.
Yeah, it was new. It was brand new. I didn't launch it that time. So you're
Yeah,
very
yeah,
lucky.
yeah.
You had one of the first new edition. Yeah.
And also, I wanted to say, like, yani, something that most businesses like don't understand, don't get, and it's like a very fundamental concept in like business, especially in entrepreneurship, is you
Mm.
need to figure out what your unique value proposition is. Unique value. So like
Yeah.
the fact
It
that you
is.
figured it
It
out,
is.
you brought it up in
And you have to have like
introduction.
specific goal through the whole process, I think so.
Yeah, dude. So I think any
Yeah.
the people are really gonna enjoy our discussion about business and entrepreneurship and medical
Yeah.
stuff like that.
And
But
thank
as
you,
I
actually.
promised,
Thank you very, very much for making this whole celebration about the Global Entrepreneurship Week. It's very useful, actually. I think a lot of the startups and entrepreneurs gonna like this lives you are doing this week.
Muskida, Allah inshallah.
Yeah, yeah.
So as promised, I'll let you like I've asked you the first question, so you're totally and free to ask me.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you the same question. Can you tell us about yourself, what you're doing?
Wallahi, that's a very deep question. All right, so my name is Ashraf Nabil Khalifa. So I'm 31 years old, and I'm gonna be 32, inshallah, in January, 5th of January, more exactly.
Allah, very soon.
So I'm from like a very special generation because I'm born in 1989. So in 1989, this government that was in power before they came to power,
Mm,
um, and I don't know, like it has a lot of issues, um, connotated with it. And then my dad used to work for UNICEF.
yeah.
So when I was younger, my whole life I was always traveling. So I lived in Jordan, Kenya, Denmark, Tunisia, Chad. I went to like 8 different schools in 5 different countries. When I ended up when I was 15, I lived in Sudan, like by mistake, and I ended up there for 3 years.
I
But it was
like that you
fun.
said
So I
it's
went
by mistake.
to yeah. So I went to the American school in Khartoum American School, CAS. So, big shout out to my CAS family out there. And then when I went to uni, I studied technology entrepreneurship. So I was always interested in entrepreneurship. I remember from like year 6, year 7, year 8. And then I remember like I was always like setting up these businesses and stuff. Like I remember, for example, when I was in CAS and American School, I was in grade 10 and 11. So at that time, they didn't really have like a big, like cafeteria. They only had like a really small. They used to sell like snacks, crisps, like juice, stuff like that. So what I used to do was I'd wake up. أنا طبعا ساكن في راسين في Lubnan. So I'd wake up every day and I'd go to a shuhada. I'd buy some pamia, some bread, and then I'd make sandwiches and I'd take them to school and I'd sell them. Um,
Oh,
and then I was also like campaigning for them to make a better cafeteria. So if you go to like Khartoum American School now, like they've got a huge cafeteria. So like for me, it's not about like profit. It's usually like about campaigning for like something, like values or for like a problem or something like that. So someone asked me a question about struggling with friends, so I can totally add this into my introduction. Yeah, I really do struggle because the problem is like, and when you travel around a lot and you're gonna
mm,
move, like you don't really get close to people. You don't make like meaningful relationships. Everything is like
yeah.
really selfish. Um, and then also, yeah, because I
And
went to
even
Sunni
though
school.
we can connect through, I think, social medias and WhatsApp and Facebook, but I think also, yani, you can't be close to them anymore like you used to, yani, face to face, right?
Yeah, like face to face, like spending time with someone in like face to face is a lot more meaningful than this whole virtual like.
Yeah, quality time, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Um, so I don't know. I guess that's sort of a little bit of an introduction. So I
yeah.
will ask you a question.
All right.
One second, let me just get this list. All right. So so I'm gonna ask you like a question that's. So what I tried to do with this Global Entrepreneurship Week was to like give it a theme, and the whole theme was like around coronavirus and the impact on entrepreneurship and business. So my
Mm.
question is, how did the COVID-19/20 impact you and your business? I think your business was created out of this. So it's kind of
Yeah, exactly. Actually, the huge impact of COVID-19 is that it started my business out. But I can say that how did COVID-19 impact on me to start business? So as I said before, that I already have the business mentality, but I never had the courage to start one. So actually, COVID-19, as much as it looks very bad, but in behind it has something good. So yes, actually, COVID-19 encouraged me to start a business, and yeah, it has yani, it has been difficult every time. Yeah, it's very difficult to start a business, but it's even harder to start a business during the coronavirus. So I think that taught me I can work and in difficult situations and difficult time. And this is something I have never known about myself. So it actually impacts on me more than it impact my business because it's already created the business. So yeah, that's it.
okay, right. Since like your question wasn't really, and because the thing is, and if you had a business before and after, then you could talk about it. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna have another question. All right.
yeah, it's, yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna ask you, how did you manage to advertise your business?
Okay, so basically because of the lockdown and everything, I couldn't make any advertisement in like universities or in the public or anything. So I started to do it in the social media. So basically, I started with platform like a Facebook and Instagram. That's the only two platform I use because I think that Sudanese people are mostly using those two applications. Some people they encouraged me to do the Twitter, but I didn't thought back then it's very effective. So I tried to use as much as visual aids. So I used to start images, videos. Sometimes I share things from the WHO recommendation of how to wear the masks and how to use it properly. And recently, about like 1 month ago, because a lot of my customer were like complaining about they can't go to the previous post very easily. So I created like something that called Google site. It's something like a website, but it's for free from Google. So I put all the pictures and images of the mask, and I classify them with the colors and the sizes and how you can how can you manage to choose which one is better for you. So right now, I think the site is more common to use with my customers.
I like it. And then also I like the fact that you put like such a sick, interesting name, like the Mask.IT.IT.
Yeah. So it's just simple because the first design, the mask kit, MI. So the first design was like the first two initial letters, MI. The second one, it's FI because it's fit it. It's like a fitted without any band or something. So just I created the first two initial letters too.
I like it. And then
Yeah.
also I totally agree with you about like Twitter being like yani, a lot of noise, but yani, because I like that you're very business minded. So you're like Twitter doesn't make money, can't reach my customers.
Yeah. I think if I were like in a Gulf countries or something, I might use Twitter as a first choice. But in Sudanese population, they're not very interested about Twitter. Maybe our generation, yes, but the older, a little bit from 30s maybe, or no, above 30s, they're not using Twitter too much. So yeah, I tried yani at that time because I have like a zero background in business. I tried my best to listen more to people who have experience in this field, and I watch a lot of YouTube to know how to manage this. So actually, yani I couldn't manage this by my own. I had a lot of help from YouTubers, from my cousins who have the same experience in this field. So yeah, and
All right,
you have always to ask for help if you don't know. Just don't proceed without knowing where you're going.
100%. I'll give you the opportunity to ask me a question, and then I'll also we both have to answer the questions that they've given us. So I think one of the questions
Okay.
from Sudanese Bridal, she said, "Could you tell us a little bit about yourself as well?" So I'm assuming she means me. And then we also got a question from, a couple of comments. So I want to give a shout out to my cousin Ahmed. So he totally agrees with you in terms of Facebook is where everyone is, especially like Sudanese people. Um,
Yeah.
also said like your ideas are super duper genius. And then
Thank you.
Allah Umar
Thank you.
is saying, and it's whatever the customer wants. Yeah, so do you have a question for me? I gave you a bit of time to think there.
Yes, I want to know how the idea of Sudanpreneur came to your mind.
Okay, so basically, so I went to University of Surrey and I did a degree called um, it was called technology entrepreneurship. So basically, when I graduated in 2010, quite a long time ago, actually 10 years ago. So basically, when I graduated, people would like back then, no one even knew what the word entrepreneurship was or what it meant or nothing like that. Obviously now everyone knows what it is. It's like you've got The Apprentice, you've got Dragon's Den, you've got like Mashhuri. People talk about it all the time as if it's like the most important thing. But back then, like no one knew it. So like when I finished explaining what it was, people were like, "Oh, is that like something you need to study?" And then the second question, they'd be like, "Oh, so when are you gonna open up your own business?" And then the third thing, I'd always tell people from Sudan, they wouldn't have no idea where it is, right? Or they'd know like all the negative things. So I decided to come up with a solution. So I wanted to fix those two problems. So I wanted people to know where Sudan is and also to showcase like good things about Sudan. So I set up something called Sudan Hub in 2011, 2010. And back then that was when like the separation was happening, whether the South should go or the South should stay. And then basically like after 2 years, like I had a lot of problems. So I decided to think back to my student days. And they always talked about like how important it is to have like a business mentor. So then I started emailing like all my professors, connections and stuff like that. They all said the same thing. They're all like, you need to have a Sudanese business mentor. I was like, but I don't even know any Sudanese people, like especially successful Sudanese people. So that's when I started Sudanpreneur. So I started it up like to talk about all the successful people. And then the thing is like the same as Sudan Hub and Sudanpreneur. It's kind of like one like one, I don't know. It's kind of separate but kind of the same. But because I never really had a plan or a vision, so I got influenced. Like I never wrote a business plan. So I got
Mm.
influenced much by people around me, and it kind of grew and developed. But I'm really happy to like so that like in
Which one
business,
did you start first, the Sudanpreneur or
started
Sudan
no, I
Hub?
started Sudan Hub in like 2010, 11, and I started
Mm.
Sudanpreneur in 2013, 14. But because back then with Instagram, you couldn't you like every time you wanted to change account, you'd have to sign out and then sign back in. So I
Mm.
like Sudan Hub, I got to like about 2,500 followers, and I was talking about like the culture and the travel and tourism. But then I decided to change my focus completely to Sudanpreneur and stuff like that. So yeah, if you look at my website, sudanpreneur.co.uk, it's got like more than 400 successful Sudanese people from like the prehistoric times and pre-colonization times. So now to like the people in the revolution. And I totally agree with Sahad. She's saying majority of Sudanese are successful. Right. But
Yeah,
my
it
point
is.
was my point was to find a successful Sudanese mentor, like a business mentor. I'm not saying because the problem is Sudanese people, they're like pushed into being doctor, muhandis,
Yeah,
مثلا.
yeah,
People don't
exactly.
really take business like seriously, and they don't really take anything else seriously, like art or you know, like a lot of the hamishiyat subjects, even
Mm.
like football or sports.
يا دكتور
Like
يا
football,
مهندس
for
ما عندك
example.
حل تاني.
Yeah, literally. So, right to my sister, shout out to my sister. I think she's like the most amazing person ever. But she did medical school for 3 years, so she had that burden. Then she decided to drop out and do English language and creative writing. So, alhamdulillah, my parents didn't really push us in terms of what you need to study. And I don't think
Mm.
I'd ever be like a good doctor as well. So, alhamdulillah. But I
That's very
hope that
important.
answers the question. But I totally want to go back to a point that Ala Umar said, that it's whatever the customer wants. Yeah, see, I studied business, right? And this is the same all over the world. Customer is always right, right?
Yes.
Except in Sudan. Except in Sudan. The customer is so wrong. Customer has no idea what he even wants. بالعكس. The customer needs يعني المفروض نبهدل الزبون ونديه كفين نقول له انت الحاجه الدايره دي غلط، المفروض نغير له رايه، نفرض عليه بعدك نبيع عليه أول حاجة ونشيل منه قروش. It's the only country in the world where like people will refuse to take money on principle. You know, like that shit
Mm.
never happens anywhere. So Sudan is a
Well,
very, very different business environment. I learned so much
it is.
once I was
It
there.
is.
It made me change and reevaluate everything. But
And
alhamdulillah.
Sudanese customer is one of the hardest customers to deal with, actually. So we won't lie, but you have to make the priority is the customer. It's not your product, it's not what you serve, it's the customer needs. Because if you don't
When the
have the
customer
customer,
expects
you can't
you
give
to
him the
do
product.
everything, to do
Yes,
everything, even
exactly.
if you're
Yeah.
not, يعني مثلا if you have, let's say you have an import-export company. All right. احمد قال لي lift up الكعب تمام انا ما اقدر اجيب لك من الخرطوم لكن ما احرك الكعب. So basically you're like an import export, right? So you just know how to take stuff from inside. Once you want you to be a driver. يعني هذاك الزبون السوداني متعب اكثر زول متعب في العالم.
That's a fact. That's totally a fact.
All right, so I guess it's my turn to ask you a question, right?
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna ask you questions from the list because I'm a nice person. At least you
Oh, okay.
prepared.
All right.
All right, so I like this question. What motivates you?
Business
Uh,
or
يعني,
as general?
I think general. We can do both. We can talk about what motivates you in your business and what motivates you like in general.
Well, I think I can answer both of them with one answer. It's creativity.
Oh,
As long as I find something that is different, that is unique, and that is going to solve a problem, I think that's where I'm going to head because it's something that's going to help a lot of people. I think there's many people can find the same problem, but few will find a solution for it. So fewer will find a solution that is unique or touches the other persons, the other people. So I think that creativity is the answer. That's what
I think
motivates
that's
me.
why, and I think that's why me and you we got on so well and we had like a connection. Because the thing is, like, I think creativity is the most important. And then all the time, I don't really think I'm creative. Like, when I came to Sudan, I realized I'm actually creative. The thing is, and when you face a, that's when you're creative. You know what I mean? And then also, like, just earlier you were saying about your idea. You were saying, you don't know if it's a new idea or not. And one of my favorite professors, he always like, and he says, "There's no such thing as a new idea. Any idea in the world has been thought of a million times. You know? So everything's like a remix
Mhm.
of a remix of a remix of a remix. So it's more what you do with your idea that matters. So I'm glad
True.
that you like ended up like setting up your thing.
Okay, so it's I think my turn. Okay. I wish you have told me so I can put like a list to ask you something, but okay.
I wanted to keep it as a surprise and keep you on the spot. I don't want to give you time to prepare for it.
Sorry.
Like, I wanted it as a surprise. I didn't want you to have to prepare.
Oh, okay, okay. So okay, what's your vision? What do you want to do next?
Um, right. That's all right. So basically, Anna, when I started my workshop series with Maya, so like and live, and because she's been doing video for.
Ashraf, I think if you put your phone back, it's gonna be better because I can't hear you well.
All right. كده تمام سامعني كده.
Uh,
All right. So basically, I mentioned something. So basically, when I started doing my live series on entrepreneurship with Maya, and she gave me some really golden advice, which I always try to kind of take to heart, which is try not to talk about your personal life in any of the lives and stuff like that. And also, my professor, the one I just mentioned, his name is Simon Best. He always tells me, like, when you're mentoring or when you're talking to people or giving advice, never give people the answer. Don't get people to come up with their own solution, so you never get blamed for nothing. You know what I mean? But I will tell you, like, what my plan is. or at least a little bit of what my plan to do next. So inshallah, there's this
Just change your position a little bit before you tell me your future plan.
You said my future plan next. My future plan next, right?
Oh, next. Okay, yeah. Okay.
So do you want the small picture or do you want the big picture?
Let's just stick with the small one because we're not sure what's going on with the coronavirus and the second wave and everything. So let's just stick with the small one.
All right. So for now, inshallah, I'm planning to start MBA, inshallah, at Mamun Hameda. So they have this really amazing program for people that have like, an entrepreneurship business idea. And inshallah, we start on the 24th of December. So it's a partnership done with Mamun Hameda and this university in Italy, in Milano. So I'm gonna meet a lot of entrepreneurs and I'm gonna meet a lot of like networking and investors. Basically, my business idea, I wanna create like 360 videos of different locations in Sudan, like tourism areas, like Dender National Park and Sawakin and Badrawiya. And then I want to go around the world and educate people about Sudan because most people they don't even know Sudan exists. They don't know nothing about Sudan. So I want to create these what I want to call immersive experiences. I'll come talk about Sudan for a little bit, and then I'll have like Sudanese art, Sudanese photos, Sudanese culture, Sudanese food. The most important thing, al-abda, with jabana, with shai. And then I'm gonna bring some Sudanese books. I'm gonna get some Sudanese fashion. I'm gonna get some. The most important part is the video. So where the headset, the VR headset, you've got a 360 video of like Khartoum and Durman, a few of different places. And then I'm gonna start a tour of like, I'll start in London, I'll do Manchester, I'll do Birmingham, I'll do Portsmouth, and then after that I'll go to like Denmark and Sweden, Holland, and the Middle East, and basically educate people about Sudan, get them to experience it. And then after that, once I've done like most of the countries, and then I'm gonna start doing travel packages so people can come. So
nice.
yeah.
Okay.
So
That's
that's
our
like
big goals, والله, mashallah, يعني. This is very creative and it's very important that people know more about Sudan because I think people just start to recognize Sudan after the whole revolution and the protest that was happening in the last few years. But they don't know Sudan as Sudan. What are yani, a lot of my friend, I'm in KSA, a lot of my friend when I was like in 6th grade or something, they thought like Sudan is like a jungle, big jungle with animals around us. Yeah, they don't know that it's a country and we have like our tradition and culture. So this is very important actually. You educate both Sudanese people and yeah.
Then I think our biggest problem as Sudanese people is we don't have a Sudanese identity we can like associate with and defend like for example, and I wear this t-shirt, like this hoodie, I still see the south as part of Sudan, like the west, the east, the north.
Because
And the thing is like
it is part of
the problem is we need to also like acknowledge our issues that make us like cause issues, which is our racism. We're the most racist society. And if you look at it بس برا بالعربي يعني البلد الوحيدة اللي عندها الألوان أزرق وأحمر برتقالي ونفسجي وقمحي وأبيض وحلبي
diversity.
let alone يعني that's what I see. I see diversity. I see like unity in like diversity will lead to our prosperity. That's the way I see it.
True. That's totally
At the same time, يعني to answer Malaz's question, because she said who's my target market, the problem with Sudanese people, they're so cheap, they're so stingy, they're so hasdin, and they're so they don't really support business. I've been doing this for 10 years. Next year will be like my 10-year anniversary. You know what I mean? So I know I'm an expert in this thing. I studied entrepreneurship and I'm doing an MBA in entrepreneurship, right? And I've been working on a master's in creative technology. So these are areas that I'm good at. Anything creative, anything digital, anything to do with business, entrepreneurship, and especially Sudan, right? So my target market is definitely not Sudan, not Sudanese people. My target market
that's the most important population you should target, I think.
that was like in the problem with Sudan. I tell you, my business is registered in London, in the United Kingdom. It's a limited company here, right? So there's something called economic sanctions, So I've been working for 10 years, building up my brand, building up my credibility, supporting other people, giving people a boost, advising people, and then also working with Sudanese people, right? And I have a big family. Mashallah, they're like literally so many of them, right? So basically, from my own family and from Sudanese people in Sudan and all the countries I lived in, Jordan, Kenya, in Denmark, in Indonesia, in UK, like I'm talking about Scotland and Northern Ireland and England. I've never been to Wales. You see, like I've worked with Sudanese people, right? And they're all يعني شفتي لما يقول لك السوداني كسلان بجد السوداني يعني لو وديت توصفه وحدي كسلان شديد عشان كده هذاك الحاجة الثانية we're not business minded لأنه لو كنا لو كنا بنفكر في البزنس ما كنا بنتأخر ما بتكون في ونسة الباب ونسة الواسطة فهمت علي يعني ما بنفكر بطريقة اقتصادية يعني الهم أكثر إنه المظاهر والمجاملة خلاص at least we need to acknowledge
But I
the good
think I
and the
think
bad thing.
that
That's
has
what I'm saying.
changed.
We need an identity, like getting said that really resonates with everyone. You know what I mean? Because everywhere I go, there's still this whole Darfurian بيمشوا براهم, النوبة بيمشوا براهم, ناس الأنصار بيمشوا براهم, الشيوعيين بيمشوا براهم. So and there's nothing really that calls out to Sudanese people to like it. I don't know. I'm saying that's just my own personal opinion.
Yeah. Well, I think that it has changed a little bit right now. I think that's the whole about after the revolution, everything just a little bit on progress. And I think that we do have the mentality, but sometimes the resources fail us to do that. So,
We have the
you
best
know, the
resources. We have the
circumstances, the
human
circumstances in
resources.
Sudan is not easy to live with, but
I'm not
people
saying it's
struggle
easy.
to, yeah.
العيشة العيشة في السودان أربع شهور. Like السودان زمان كان حلو بناسه بس بقى حلو بعدم ناسه. There's not a lot of people left in Sudan. That's the first thing. Like most of my cousins, most of my friends, they're not there. So we have to يعني, talk about that. The second thing is when I come from outside, living in like the first thing people ask me about is how can I also leave? You know what I mean? So that's the first things. And then the second thing, يعني شفت
But
هم
I think
السودانيين.
that because of the situation of the country, not because of the people and yeah, you know.
I'm not denying. I'm not
Yeah,
denying يعني انا قاعد اقول لكم
yeah,
يعني في ناس
yeah, it
بتاعت
is.
هنا في اللايف ده ما في السودان ما يعني ما مش السودان لهم فتره فهمت علي يعني I'm giving people يعني I'm educating I'm raising awareness about business in Sudan opportunities in Sudan you know what I mean
Yeah,
and
true.
also يعني for people in Sudan as well like they also يعني I don't know because يعني the one word I can describe Sudan as وانا مشيت وقفت في السوق في العيش فهمت علي دخلت في اللجنه بتاعت التعاونيه عملت مع الناس لجنة الخدمات وكده. I went to المؤتمر الاقتصادي. I went to أحفاد. I've been around. So I can give my own perspective. But the most important thing I did, I just sat down, asked questions, and listened. Like most people in Sudan, they want to give advice. They don't really want to, they don't want to. And even if they don't know, they'll still tell you. مثلا, like if I ask someone he has no idea what it is that I'm asking about. He'll still come and try and tell me where it is. نحن لو ما ادعينا كده يعني انه ما بنعرف يعني ما حنتغير ما حنمشي لقدام and the problem is like the government might have changed but we need a mental reset we need a mental shift we need to go back to thinking that like instead of يعني لازم نمشي بالواسطة لا ما دارين اي زول يمشي باي واسطة بعدين يعني لو دخلت في مشكلة طوالي تديه رشوة لا اي زول بيدي رشوة او بيفكر في الرشوة عيب المفروض نطلع العادات دي من المجتمع فهمت عليه؟ يعني شفت الحاجات اللي بنوصفها الكيزان المنافقه والكذب والاستهبال والحرمنه والحاجات دي بقت عادات سودانيه والحاجات اللي كانت زمان فيه لانه انا غبت 3 سنين يعني الكرم يعني انه الزول بيسامح الناس انه الزول ما بكذب بالعكس يعني انت لو ما كذبت عليه وانت بتكون اهبل وعويل يعني بعدك even when it comes to business يعني you don't tell the truth in business you don't tell people this is 10 pounds and I'm making 5 pound profit. And people automatically think you're there to take advantage, to lie, you know what I mean? That's become the mentality. So and this is the reality. And I would want to leave that place as well. I'm not gonna lie, I totally was يعني كل يوم بصحى من الصباح يعني شفت اكثر كلمه توصف السودان مهبط يعني شفتي تصحى من الصباح اي زول تلاقيه بيحاول يهبطك واي سيتويشن تدخل فيها مهبطه اي بعدين ممكن تظهر لك زي 400,000 كارثه كده وكل واحد محبط اكثر من البالة وده السودان لكن الناس متواكبه وعايشه يعني الناس لسه بتاكل عيش لسه بتجيب بنزين لسه بتمشي الشغل ولسه بترجع، ولسه لما يكونوا في الشغل ما بيشتغلوا، بيرجعوا البيت بياخذوا
yeah.
راحتهم. يعني
But
بجد
as a positive
اكيد.
side حنبنيه إن شاء الله. So
لا لا حنبنيه
it's
سوا انا ان
gonna
شاء
it's
الله.
gonna good. Yeah, it's gonna go good.
I'm only staying here for 2 3 weeks. I'm going back. Inshallah, we're gonna build Sudan. We're gonna make Sudan
Yeah,
the best country in
yeah,
the world. We'll make it
yeah.
so everyone Sudanese wants to go
Yeah.
back. We'll encourage people to go back, inshallah. And then the most important thing is you have to be the change you want to see. So I need to encourage people by being a role model, being, I need not just for them, but for myself. You know what I mean?
True. Yes,
Sorry for
inshallah.
the rant. Um, for the script. All right, I totally agree. Yeah. All right, let me ask you another question. All right. So, but the problem is, the questions like they're not relevant to you because into what did you do before when you set up your business? Because you told me that like medical engineer, were you like, and what did you do job wise? And then in terms of your 9 to 5, your day job, like how did it get affected? Because that's one of the questions. How was your job environment affected after Corona?
Basically, I said before that I was working in a school. I was a science teacher teaching young kids, the grade 1 and 2 science. And then the school, yeah, everything just closed after the coronavirus pandemic. And I was just like sitting in my home doing actually basically nothing. And there was like 10 hours of no electricity in the house. So I was like just sitting, putting my hand in my face, doing nothing. So actually my life changed a lot before and after Corona, because right now I didn't go back to work in the school, but I'm like self-employed fully with the mosque right now. And though right now I'm not in Sudan, but I'm trying to manage it from, this is the most challenging right now. This is the most challenge I'm going through right now, is that I have to manage it through social medias, phone calls, and everything. It's not very easy because I think not a lot of people, yeah, they're used to manage the people through social medias. But I'm trying to manage it a little bit until I get back to Sudan. But it has changed a lot, actually. I think the coronavirus have changed every single aspect of our life. I don't think that life is going to be as it used to. Even our daily life, your priorities has changed. You want to make the most of the day doing something useful. So right now, beside my business, I'm trying to educate myself in the medical field because I don't want to leave it, but at the same time trying to learn more about entrepreneurship, about business, about marketing, digital marketing. So I'm trying to use most of the time in courses, online courses, or sometimes I speak to my friends from the business field so they can like enlighten me about things that I'm not sure about and I don't know how to do it. So it's like a little bit proactive life before the coronavirus.
All right. We've also got like so my cousin Ahmed, I love you so much, and he's actually such a big fan. I think he's my biggest fan, and it seems like he's your biggest fan as well, because he asked
Thank
you a question, and then he asked you again. Galek, Hua, he's like an artist, and he's a singer. He's also got his band, and he's also a painter, and
MashaAllah.
he's also now studying animation, and he does cover arts. So he's
Wow.
like super duper
I think we
talented.
can be friends, Ahmed, because I'm a fan of animation too, actually. And I'm
But he
trying
said
to like,
he
yeah,
said he
I'm
wants to
trying.
collaborate with you. He wants more than just your friendship. He wants you to collaborate because he said, "Are you willing to print on your mask? And if so, he'll send you some designs so you can collaborate."
Yeah, actually, yeah, I don't have like a machine to make the logos or mask, but I used to collaborate with other people to make like if you see my account, I have like a picture with Lifebuoy, so I made some mask for Lifebuoy and I printed their logo on the mask. But yeah, because a lot of people right now they're asking me about like they want like something unique and special for themselves. They want a mask with their names or certain pattern or something. So it's gonna be very good. Thank you, Ahmed, for the offer. I think it's gonna be very nice.
All right, and promo alert, guys. So just to let you know, I do have a vested interest in this. But if you guys, so this is the mask that Naseva gave me. As you can see, it's so awesome, so amazing. And also,
Yeah.
Ahmed, you can totally like put something here,
Yeah,
something
and
here.
actually, I haven't tried in this one. I haven't tried to print in this one. I have tried to do in this one, the first one, the one with the rubber band. So this one work in the print, but I'm not sure if that one, if we can print on it or not. So I'm very interested to know actually, Ahmed. So that's going to be very
Ahmed,
nice.
my cousin, he's one of the people اللي شفتي عدم الناس في السودان. هو أسي مشى كندا هاجر كندا مو أخوه توم. But he said he'll DM you. So do you
Okay,
have
anytime.
another question?
Well, you mentioned previously about how important to have a mentor. So can you enlighten me and the audience about that? How it's
Okay,
important to
so
have a mentor in your business,
all right. So I think
in
having
your
a
life
mentor
as
is the
general.
most in life as well is very useful. But especially in business because especially when you're someone like you, for example, I'm gonna say that don't have business experience or something like that. So if you find someone that's interested in business for business sake, like someone like, for example, business, or for example,
Ashraf, get back to your first position because we can't hear you well.
right. When it comes to business and especially when someone like you and if someone is their first time in business, right? So it's very important, especially when they don't have business experience or they're coming from like engineering or medical background. It's very important. So I would say someone that loves business and for business sake, and someone like me, for example, that just enjoys business. Or I know it's not realistic, but you should always have big dreams. And someone like مثلا Anis Hajjar, you know, or someone like Salman Dawood, or someone like Bashir al-Nifedi, Allah rahmah, is innovative, but also the most important thing when it comes to choosing your mentors and stuff like that. And you need to research them and see what their values are, make sure that your values like line up with them, right? And then when it comes to like the mentor relationship, you're not meant to have any financial, so it's not someone that you want to invest in your business, and it's more someone to help you with and give you their network and introduce you to different people, but also help you with your business journey. And then also you need to also know what you want. So you should always have tasks or things that you want to achieve and review them with the person as well. So if you look at your business, the mentor person is like who would be like the chairman of the board if it was a company. You have your CEO, you have your board of directors. So that's the type of relationship you want to have with them. So that's my advice about like mentors. And then in terms of
Okay, I
work
have
mentors, in other words, what you were gonna say?
yeah, I have a question regarding that. What if like one time you have an idea that is different than his idea or her idea? So what do you do in that case? Do you proceed with what they advise you to do? It's best for your business or your project that
It's your business, you know what I mean? So whoever it is, whether they're a mentor or not a mentor, whether it's a friend, whether it's someone like me, and if you're not happy with any, bully you to making it your way. Or like the other thing as well, yeah, it's not just about the vision of the company, but also about the values of the company as well. You know what I mean? And you need to
true,
have someone that you actually respect as a person, that you look up to.
true.
And then also you need different mentors for different periods of your life. You know what I mean? So for a year, or you can have like two mentors at the same time. But the way that a mentor works is like you only meet up with them once a month. So they give you tasks and you get progress. You can email them as much as you want and stuff, but you have to maintain like um, yeah, like structure, and discipline, and stuff like
That's very useful. Thank you so much.
that. All right, let me. Um, all right, yeah, this one's a nice one. So basically, what impact in terms of your suppliers has coronavirus had? So did you have to change suppliers, or did your relationship with your suppliers change, or did you have cash flow issue problems or inventory problems?
Ashraf, I can't hear you well. Can you repeat the question, please?
Right. So I told you, in terms of the coronavirus impact on your suppliers. So did you have to change suppliers, or did you have to, in terms of like your product, did you have issues with managing the inventory, or do we have in terms, did you change suppliers or something like that? Or in terms of your cash flow, because some suppliers, they want to be paid up front. Some people will be happy to wait a week. So if you can talk about your supply chain issues.
So basically I was like a direct selling point. I didn't have a suppliers. So I had like some one of the people who work in the market. He used to bring me the materials in the house, and then after I make the mask, I just sell it directly to the customers. Yeah, and I don't have like people who were like a selling point between me and the customer. So I didn't change actually. No, I don't think so. I didn't change supplier till now. It's the same thing from the beginning of since the beginning of my business.
Okay, give me just 1 second. Right.
Sure.
All right. Since you gave such a short answer to that, I'm gonna make you answer another question. All right. So, what advice do you have for Sudanese entrepreneurs or Sudanese people that want to set up their own business, or non-Sudanese people that want to set up a business?
Okay. Well, actually, I'm not going to give you a lot of advice because I'm not an expert in this field, but I'm going to give you just two things. First thing is that if you have an idea and it's not that crazy, just do it. Just go ahead and do it, regardless the negativity of the people who shut you down and said to you it's not applicable. Just remember that it's an idea that came to your mind, and it didn't come to any other person. So it's your idea. It's for you that to create it or not. So if you have an idea, try to be brave. Try to if you're not very confident about it, you can ask some expertise in this field, but don't ask anyone around that doesn't have any background about it, and just do it. It might be the biggest change and turnover for your life. It can be the best thing that happened in your life. And the second thing is that don't be afraid if you fall down in the middle, because there's always ups and downs in the business. So at the beginning you might start very well, and at the middle of it you like fall down for no reasons actually, or sometimes there is a specific reasons, but it's okay. Don't panic. Don't you be depressed. You should continue doing it. And the last thing, I encourage them just to enjoy it. It's a new process, a new experience in your life. There's whatever you do, you will have one experience in one business, and if you create another business, you have a totally different experience. So just enjoy the way it is.
All right. So basically, I'm gonna let you ask me a question, but I'm gonna answer Sahad's question first. So Sahad asked if you have any Sudanese mentors on board. To be honest, then that was why I started the business. But to be honest, I didn't really focus on providing mentors or even doing mentorship. But I can definitely recommend a great, amazing organization set up by one of my close friends. So it's called Al Sudania Mentoring. So what she does is, her name is May Khidir. So she for young like GCSE/uni level girls in Sudan, she allocates them with a Sudanese mentor, and then they have like Skype sessions and stuff like that. So I think now they're like on their 8th year or something like that, mashallah. So definitely check her out. And then now you can ask me a question.
Okay. All right. I ran out of questions actually. Okay, let me ask you something that you asked me.
All right, you know what?
Okay, okay. Can you give entrepreneurs some advice? startups? Any advice for them?
Yeah, I've got loads of advice. All right, so I'll just give you one advice, right? So, and I'll let people take it however they want to take it. But there's something called, and when you have a business, you need to work on your business and you need to work in your business, right? That's the most important thing.
Okay, can you elaborate more? In and on your
Um,
business.
all right, I could totally elaborate more, but I'm gonna have to charge you for it. So when we meet up in real life, I'll tell you the price.
Okay.
Like in Malaz has a question that we can both answer. So
Mm.
her question is, how did the people around you react to setting up a business or setting up this business? Um,
Well,
but
yeah.
you know what? Yeah, say, so
Mm.
basically, I've been keeping an eye out on the time, and if you don't end the live for the time, then you lose the live, and we definitely don't want to do that. So I'm
Oh,
gonna
okay.
close the live, and we can have like a 5 minute break, and then we can both come back and
All right.
uh,
Okay.
at least answer this question.
That's good. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I'll see you in 5.
All right.